I think, Israel is a mess. India is a bigger mess. And, I always call it's not India, it's the United States of India. So much variety, so much differences, so different cultures, languages, noises, smells. It's overwhelming, it's huge.
Israel is a mess, but India is a bigger mess. This was quoted by the former Israeli ambassador to India. But what does mess really mean? Does it mean disaster or does it really mean progress and transition? Namaskar, Shalom, and welcome. My name is Ravital Moses, aka Moses in Israel, your favorite Indian Jew born and raised in India and now living in Israel. And my goal is to bridge India and Israel one video at a time. And today we are going to find out why India and Israel are going to be the greatest countries in spite of being messy.
India is overwhelming. I think it's like, it's 140, 150 times bigger than Israel in population and size. And I think, Israel is a mess. India is a bigger mess. And, I always call it's not India, it's the United States of India. So much variety, so much differences, so different cultures, languages, noises, smells. It's overwhelming, it's huge.
So this reel or short has been taken from my own video. This was my first ever interview with any ambassador, and it happened to be a former Israeli ambassador to India. His name is Naor Gilon. He's extremely popular in India. He's also very active on Twitter/X, Instagram, but more on X. Thought leadership, very strong, extremely active, did a lot for India in terms of Israeli diplomacy, and he was really bridging gaps. We have a new Israeli ambassador. His name is Reuven Azar. I've not really had the chance to interview him. Hopefully, when I visit India next time, I will be. Naor just came back from India. I think he was done with his tenure and he just came back, and I reached out to him and I was like, let's sit down and talk about India as an Israeli diplomat. He was like, let's do it. I sent him some questions before the interview and he's like, let's do it. It's going to be chill. I was expecting it to be super formal because he was the first diplomat I ever interviewed. And from him afterwards, I also interviewed Kobi Shoshani. It was so unpredictable and I did not expect him to be so chill. The first impression I had from him was, you have your chacha in the family and you can absolutely have an unfiltered conversation. This was the kind of vibe I got from Naor. And I was like, this is great. I think it's also an Israeli trait. Israeli diplomats in general. And he's not the first person I've met, right? I met Kobi and then I briefly also met Reuven in Delhi when I was visiting last year. But they're super chill. Because in India, when we see people in politics and diplomacy, they come across as somebody who are super formal. Formality, suits, ties, not smiling much, I feel also not quite approachable, but he was on point. Anyway, I asked him a question about his first impression of India. Usually, when people come to India, they either have good experiences or bad experiences. There's nothing in the middle. I don't know what I was expecting, and then he said this. And I'm like, okay, yes, it is true, but context matters. The word messy has a negative connotation, right? Unpredictability, inefficiency, nothing's in order, no discipline. Usually people see messy as all of that. Was India messy a few years ago, especially post-independence? Yes. But messy can also be positive. And if India is messy right now, it is the positive kind. And so is Israel. We were to reframe messy, and we should, for the right reasons. Messy is complexity. You need to understand India is diverse, different, he said it, different languages, different cultures, different food, a lot of religions coexisting. So when this comes together, it can become complex. No idea about the Eastern cultures, they see that as messy. India has always seen diversity as one of our strengths. When you have multiple voices, interests, identity, usually in the West, it's like a Western mentality. They put you in a box. We can't be fit in a box, both India and Israel. Even if foundationally, spiritually, they're very different in terms of culture and the way we operate, we are very similar. Now, my POV is We are in the growth stage and we are in transition stage. See this as a startup or your own life for that matter. When you're in transition or when a startup is like even starting or is growing and transitioning, it's chaotic. Nothing's in place. Your standard operation procedures, your communication with your stakeholders and your partners, everything is messy. You have to build it. And it takes time. And if you're thinking of managing a population of 1.4 plus billion in the country and 33 million in diaspora, it is going to take time. But does that mean that we are not growing? No. It means messy is a term for growth, potential and transition. Right now we are in transition. I'm going to give you an example in Israel. Aapko pata hi hai, there's a war that's been going on since October 7th. In fact, the conflict has been going on for years, but the most recent one that was caught on camera is October 7th, 2023. 2 years, we still have hostages in there. This country has gone through so much transition, chaos, and also bad mess, to be honest. But this has led the country to fix its processes. It has helped the civilians to become thinkers and entrepreneurs. There are so many defense tech companies that have come out of the war. It's because, why? We were in a mess. You also need to keep in mind, you can turn bad mess into good mess. The Orthodox religious community in this country doesn't serve the army. Now the problem is, the population of Israel is tiny. The population of Mumbai is bigger than the population of Israel. It's a tiny country, but very powerful. But there is strength in numbers. Now, if you're going to take out a population that is not going to serve the IDF, that is a problem. So there was a law that was passed that the Orthodox community will be drafted in the army, and there is a lot of chaos around it. But to be able to make that progress and transition, you have to go through this process, and it is messy. There are so many protests from the Orthodox community saying कि हमें नहीं जाना है. We will pray for the country. And everybody is like, but if you're praying and your prayers help us, why did October 7th happen? There have been a lot of debates around this. Does prayer help or does action help? My opinion, it's a combination of both. You can't just completely skip the national service because you think prayer is going to get out of this. India has its own challenges, but we are actively working on it. And what I see is the civilians could be entrepreneurs, could be creators, just normal people having a conversation at the table about what can we do to make India better or to make India great again. And so does Israel. There are dinner table conversations about, okay, we are in this situation. We or XYZ got us here. What can we do about it? We have to get through this. Naor mentioned that it is United States of India. So true. I could resonate completely. We have so many cultures, religions, languages, states, ideologies. I can go on and on. That's it for this video. I leave you with this thought. We are the United States of India and the United States of Israel. And together, we are going to be the greatest nations ever. And being messy is our strength. In the meantime, stay safe, watch the right content, and I'll see you next time.